Welcome to This Is Baltimore 2, where we show you what's good in your Baltimore neighborhood. I'm your host, Odessa Rose, and today we are at the Enoch Pratt Free Library for the 12th Annual CityLit Festival, during which authors and poets discuss their work and their feelings about Baltimore's uprising, as well as their love for Baltimore City.
Marching up to freedom and one more time, ain't gonna let nobody turn. Sing it so they can hear you. Ain't gonna let nobody.
Just as voices cried out and feet marched for justice in 1968, so the streets of Baltimore hear the voices and feet move for justice in 2015.
Okay, so
This Baltimore. I'm living right up the street. Who you got on the fight tonight, man? Somebody in here, man.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn you around. Ain't gonna let nobody keep on walking.
In the aftermath of the uprisings in Baltimore, the CityLit Festival was held on May 2nd, 2015 at the Enoch Pratt Library Central Branch. The participating authors and poets reflected on the previous week's event.
Welcome to the 12th Annual CityLit Festival. My name is Greg Wilhelm. I'm the Executive Director of CityLit Project, and even though we've done this for 12 years, it may not be obvious, or maybe it is, that the city in CityLit is Baltimore. We do what we do in the city of Baltimore for the readers and writers in Baltimore and in the metro area in the region because we love this city. And it's certainly in my lifetime been one of the most difficult and eye-opening periods of this city's history this last week. But with the news that came down yesterday, we hope a very important first step has been taken to not only address the immediate issue of what happened back on April 12th, but also to start a broader conversation, a thoughtful conversation that will hopefully lead to meaningful solutions to address the problems that have faced this city and other American cities for decades. And I've said this a few times this week, I believe that conversation, that path to some answers, and the path to a better Baltimore will be led by poets and those of us in the cultural and arts community. Toward that end, Pratt Library and CityLit Project has invited Melvin Brown. Melvin Brown is a poet, a graduate of the Johns Hopkins Writing Seminars. He has published several books of poetry. He founded a writers collective, a writers group called Pamoja, which is Swahili for together. And I think that, what better word, what more appropriate word do we have today than the word together and togetherness. He's also a professor at Sojourner Douglas College. He teaches occasionally at Towson University. He is friends with Afa Michael Weaver. Afa has read here at CityLit several times. Afa grew up on the east side of Baltimore. He graduated from Baltimore Polytechnic Institute, my alma mater. Another polygrad. He graduated from the University of Maryland College Park and then went on to get his Master's of Fine Arts in writing at Brown. And he's currently, for the past several years, been a professor, writing professor, professor of English at Simmons College in Boston. And earlier this week, he posted to YouTube a poem, he posted to Facebook a poem in the memory of Freddie Gray. So what we've asked Mel to do is to first read Alpha's poem, Mike's poem, and then after reading the poem that Mike posted to Facebook earlier this week, he will read some of his own work. Please join me in welcoming poet Melvin Brown.
Good morning. As you've heard, Alpha Michael Weaver is a good friend of mine. He is an award-winning poet from Baltimore. He teaches at Simmons College in Boston, and most recently he was the winner of the prestigious Kingsley Tufts Award for 2014. And I'm honored to read this poem that he wrote for Freddie Gray and Baltimore in Mike's absence. It's called A Poem for Freddie Gray. Each heart its own vessel, each wish a summation of a day not even that heart can know. And here now in this moment, this pulled flesh of time, undone is what it comes to be, undone to do again. Somewhere in the rolled back eyes of repeating what we call history, when history cannot be repeated, we make new memories each time we breathe. And breathing fire, we remove care from the core of what we call love, because we have come to believe no one cares, as the air is filled with meaningless bits of meaning, cut to shreds, walked on, forgotten. If tomorrow never comes, it is the fault of some misplaced moon and not the failure of what we know is human, what we know is mine and wish and hope, carved out of the spaces where we learn to live despite hatred. That's Alpha Michael Weaver.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Freddie Gray matters! Freddie Gray matters! Freddie Gray.
I'd like to recite a poem called Stars in the Sky. If the stars in the sky were really spirit poets, floating in space, reflecting and or radiating the fertile energy of life, they would worship the darkness of space because they would know that they could twinkle and glow in harmony with the ebony essence of the universe and transform their inner beauty into outer space. In other words, may your spirits be high, your stress level be low, and your luck run better than average.
April 27th in Baltimore, Maryland. There's something about deep-rooted pain, like a piercing migraine, like a throbbing toothache, like a broken limb, or an insistent earache. We can ignore it, choose not to discuss it, act like it's not there, displace it, try to erase it, until the day it erupts. Baltimore teens erupted on April 27th. Like a swollen dam, like an active volcano, like a defective water pipe, because they got tired of that insistent pain, of looking for answers where none has been given. They looted and burned because they hurt and they needed an outlet. Let's deal with it. Us, not them or they.
This poem is called Syndication. This holy grail rests upon a waist-high mountain, spit-capped and bathed in artificial lighting. The onlookers stare as I make my ascension, wondering what magical words I will mention to open up the doors of copyrighted dimensions. But words are seen, not heard, shaken, not stirred. The images I relate are formed from inkblot bodies, raised like falling trees to form a masterpiece that dances while I stay unnoticed in the background. Audience, worship the creation and not the creator. Revere my manipulation of dusty old words, disregard my lack of stage presence. The world is a stage and the stage is a show. Some live off the new episodes, but I survive off the replays in each and every audience member's mind. My poetry is meant for syndication.
This is a haiku. 6 rotten cops, twisting and hanging. Can they smell it too? Hello. It's kind of a stinky poem, I admit. My abandonmenium ode, rats be crawling across my feet. Heroin high. The only thing I can remember these days is short things. So, I'm so happy today about Marilyn Mosby. I want to send her to Ferguson, send her to Staten Island. I pay for her train ride and teach those knuckleheads a thing or two. Because you saw the guy choking Eric Garner on TV. Did anything happen to him? No. Nothing. State's attorney up there. State's attorney in Ferguson. Anyway. I'm just getting political on you. But you don't mind, do you?
We want justice! 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 We want justice!
We are some editors of Beast Girl Zine, which is a feminist magazine. The editors are from Baltimore. We get submissions from girls all over the city and the world. So we felt that young women in Baltimore City really didn't have a voice, and we decided that we were going to make a zine to give young women kind of a forum for their feminist ideas and to just share what they feel is important to change in Baltimore. So now Corey Sanders is going to read you a poem that we published in the 4th edition of Beast Girl.
The name of this is No More Turned Heads. I think it's really relevant to what is going on in Baltimore right now. I did write it before. Okay, here we go. No more turned heads. No more shuttered blinds. Open your eyes. Look at it. The blood does not stop spilling even when you ignore it. This is your problem too. This is everyone's problem. Do not wait for a government that built its country on your back to carry out the master plan. It's time to scream. It's time to unleash centuries of poverty, injustice, and rage on a society that shames you for reasons beyond control. Tell the world of your endless oppression. Use a voice that once rebelled in sweet, sorrowful song. Speak in a tongue unfamiliar to bloodless hearts. Stand up, say something, make them hear us, make them listen.
Hi, I'm David Drager. I'm a volunteer for Litmore, a literary arts center in Baltimore. You can find out more information at litmore.org. I'm also a co-host of Perverse, which is a poetry series every second Thursday night at Litmore. And this piece is called I Am. I am the whipping wind and coursing grass. I am the crown of rising sun, now rising, now setting, now hiding, now traversing iris sky. I am the wisp of white and the gathering mass of dark, blue, gray. I am the moment's hesitation before storm, electric ecstasy, expectant, foreboding. I and the opening sky and the crashing waves of driven rain. I am not the world, but of the world, suffused, engulfed, penetrated, hurled, taken by the gusting and blowing, the rising and setting, the pulling in and the letting go. I am the snow, frosting and melting, blowing freely, turning to April's mud. I am the dew, and the dew is me. The dampness seeping under your skin transfuses mine as well. Our skins porous, so we are one, mine like yours, shaped by wind and rain, sometimes broken then scarred, sometimes a mirror of within, sometimes a mirror of without. I am the dog's playful bow. I am a merry-go-round and a pocket full quarters at the penny arcade. I am an infant's grasping and jerking, sucking and biting. I am a well-mouthed toy, beaten in joy against the floor. I am this and everything and nothing more.
I'm here at the Writers CityLit Festival. Come every year. I was glad to be here today, especially given what our city's going through, because we're going to get through it, and this is one of the signs. I've got two books with me today. One is Our Father Frank, the story of a priest, the woman he loved, and the sons they left behind, me being one of the sons, about my mother's affair with a Catholic priest, and then eventually having two children with him. I was in an orphanage for 2 years. My brother was adopted right away, and eventually I had to tell the story. The other book is about a series of short stories that I've written from Baltimore to Pittsburgh. There's a great one in here about North Avenue. It's called the North Avenue Odyssey. Okay, it's called My Cruel Mistress. This is a poem about writers. She's a cruel mistress, wants to know where I am all the time, insists on my attention, undivided, unrelentingly, wrenching me from anyone, anything, anytime. In the beginning, she was happy for moments induced by a spirit or spirits. Fleeting moments no longer satisfy. Staying my sleep, she drags me from my appointed rounds to sit, to listen, to record ponderings she sees as my purpose. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Margaret Pagan. I'm here at the CityLit Festival in Baltimore, Maryland with my two books, More Than a Slave, The Life of Catherine Ferguson, and The Fulani Girls. Well, when you come to these events, you never know what's going to happen. And what happened for me today was that a young man came by and he saw my book and he said, "Oh, I read that book." I said, "You did?" He said, "Yes." I said, "How did you happen to read it?" He said, "I read it in my school." So I said, "Well, what's your school?" He said, "Mount Washington Elementary." So I said, "Well, who was your teacher?" Because I would like to know who his teacher is. He says, "Well, I don't remember. I had her last year." He said, "But I think her name was Miss Rice." So I want to thank Miss Rice for introducing my book to her class, and I hope they read it and enjoyed it. And if she's looking for another book, here's the Fulani Girls. Thank you, Odessa.
My name is Craig Wilhelm. I'm the executive director of CityLit Project, and you are seeing behind me and all around me the 12th Annual CityLit Festival right here at the Pratt Library in downtown Baltimore. And we couldn't be more proud and more humbled and more honored than be hosting this literary event, which is bringing all the community, all the writers, all the readers in Baltimore together, regardless of race and culture and background, here at the free public library to engage with writers, to enjoy the power of literature. And there's never been a better time than this weekend in Baltimore. We've had a very difficult week here in our city. There's been some very peaceful demonstrations, and a lot of people have organized to get the good word out that there are communities in this city who are thirsty for justice and thirsty for economic parity and chances for jobs. We've also had some violence, which unfortunately some of the more irresponsible media has come to town to cover. But they've missed a lot of the stories, a lot of the important stories, not only here at the library, but out in the streets of Penn North. That there are the church community, the residents, all generations, from young people to the senior citizens, they're rallying together to finally take this opportunity to not only address problems that Baltimore faces, but problems that have been ongoing in urban America for way too long. Our challenges did not end with Dr. Martin Luther King. They did not end with riots in 1968. In fact, they've been, for the most part, even though obviously we're living in much better times than we were 40 years ago, there's still a lot of work to be done. And as I said earlier at the opening of the CityLit Festival, I believe it's the cultural community in general, the literary community in particular, that's going to lead the way and pave the way to hold honest, thoughtful, and meaningful conversations that will lead to what we all hope will be real change, real systemic change. And that starts with owning up to the own prejudices we have in our own lives and our own work. But that's through the arts. That's where that conversation can happen. So given some recent news, as recent as yesterday, this is May 2nd, 2015, I think Baltimore can be an example and a model of what cities can do and what the residents of those cities can do when they come together peacefully and honestly and authentically seeking significant change. So, I'm a white male, middle-class male. I've rarely been oppressed in my life. And in fact, I doubt I've ever been oppressed in my life. So I can't relate to those who are suffering under systemic situations in Baltimore, but I can have empathy and I can try to have understanding, and I want to be part of the answers that really showcase what Baltimore can be.
All right, hi. I'm author B.A. Pinkney, and I'm down here at Baltimore City, Enoch Pratt's CityLit. And everything is going along fine, and I'm very proud to be here. And the book that I have now at the festival, I have two. One is an adult fiction novel entitled The Other Side of Light. And the other book is a children's book called Naya and the Magic White Hat. The children's book was inspired by my granddaughter when she was at the age of 7, who is now 15. The adult fiction novel reaches the audience from the ages of 18 and above, and it has an inspirational ending. It's a story, it's a complete novel, and it tells about the trials from the beginning that a young lady went through from the time she was a young girl until the time she became an adult. And it gives her many trials and tribulations that she had to endure. But in the end, she did triumph. And thank you.
This is B.A. Smith. I want to thank Odessa for reporting on the CityLit Festival. We're all trying to make Baltimore a better place every single day. I'm an author. I've written Death at Painted Cave is the first in the Robin Crane mystery series, set in Santa Barbara, California. And the second is coming out in a month, and that's Floater in the Baltimore Harbor, obviously in Baltimore. And then there's Green Grows the Grass. The setting is in Panama, Costa Rica, Cuba, and Nicaragua. And the underlying theme is the effect of war and conflict on family and community, which is sort of what we're facing this week here. Thank you very much, Odessa. Yay, Baltimore.
My name is Barbara Morrison. I'm going to read you a poem called The Dusty Place. Everyone forgets the dusty place. Mom, overwhelmed, focused on the house and a couple of garden patches out front. We kids with many places to play, haunted houses in the basement, catch in the street, war in the long side yard. We all avoided the steep hill and back, a jungle of honeysuckle and ivy, falling down trees, mayapple umbrellas, poison ivy, and pokeweed. The sun porch outcropped behind the house, and underneath lay the dusty place, waste ground between foundation and a chain-link fence. When not next door or up a tree, I was there, scuffing dust into storms and drawing stable plans. 3 walls, some stalls, nothing to it. The dusty place, refuge from the tangled mess of weeds, enough clear space to see who's coming and run, the reason I now love deserts and desolate beaches. Worthless, my mother said, nothing will ever grow there. Worthless, as a girl child, only good for making cakes and babies. Worthless, as a scrawny cuckoo in the nest. Everyone forgets, everyone but me, squatting in the dust, drawing my dreams.
My name is Linda Joy Burke. I'm at Enoch Pratt Library for CityLit. In regards to what's happened in the city, one of the things that I was just recently telling a friend is that people of color have been talking about this issue of oppression, of marginalization, of poverty, of institutionalized racism for decades. We talk about it amongst ourselves, and if we have Caucasian friends that are willing to see beyond their rhetoric of, oh, I'm colorblind, or you're not really black, are you? Then I can have a great dialogue with those people. The other truth of the matter is, if you shut down a major transportation hub and then you want to vilify students who are actually trying to get home, and maybe they are pissed, you want to make them villains because there was a decision made to prevent them from being able to go home, then there's something wrong. I love Baltimore. I'm from Washington, D.C. I know all the negative things that have been said about Baltimore. I hear it now. People are scared of Baltimore. Like it's a big, monolithic, crime-bedden from Mad Max or Escape from New York kind of situation. It's not. The people of Baltimore are wonderful people. My artistic community is here. And I pray that this is not just another 40-second soundbite that's going to disappear when the next news thing comes into fashion. We know that's our history in this country. We know this. So hopefully all these young people are out there marching. I hope they're having some serious conversations and are not going to look at their friends who may be in poverty or their friends that may be people of color and go, well, it's not really that bad, because if you know the inside of these people's hearts, you'll understand that a lot of us are feeling pain around all of this that has been going on for the past, I don't know how many decades. This is my poem, the peace poem. Peace comes in the middle of the night. Dark, no sound, no children crying, no clack of high heels, no TV all night news, no arguments, no accusations, no assumptions. Listen. There is the wind in the trees. Listen. There is indeed room for peace.
We will fight for Freddie Gray. We will fight for Freddie Gray. All day we will fight for Freddie Gray. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No more killers. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No killers.
Well, that's it for today's show. Thank you for joining us, and please tune in again so we can show you what's good in your Baltimore neighborhood.